Good morning, Ian Quick, Millionaire by 50. Today is Tuesday, July 28th. I want to talk today about this addresses more entrepreneurs than it does just um, investors, but still, it still applies. It's about the value of staff. Now, essentially, a lot of companies out there are making their money simply because uh, they pay their staff minimum wage or close to it, and they gobble up all this profit. And there's absolutely nothing wrong with paying a profit, with making a profit, I should say. But, for example, not too long ago here in Ontario, when the proposed legislation to bring up minimum wage, certain companies, like Tim Hortons, decided to cut staff perks to make up for it because it would cut into the profit margin, which is a huge profit margin. Here's the thing: a profit is a profit, and you can share the wealth. You don't have to hoard more of it. People always have a philosophy of, you have to beat last year's sales, and if it means cutting corners somewhere to do it, that's fine. Well, you can't climb forever, right? Remember those laws of nature. Things will go through cycles. They will go up and down. Um, but I'm reminded more specifically talking to one of my staff, uh, who was talking to someone who works for a company who does similar services. I won't name companies, I won't name names. But when he found out what they were getting paid versus what I pay people, they were completely floored. This was for a balloon twisting service. In case I never mentioned it, I run an entertainment company. Magics, balloons, face painters, characters, puppets, bouncies, the whole gamut. Um, I know this company, and they charge a similar hourly rate than I do for the services. But when I found out they paid their staff $20 an hour, now for some of you, you might be thinking, hey, $20 an hour, that's great. I want to make 15, I want to make minimum wage. Um, but this is a highly valued, specialized service. And when you consider that uh, for a balloon party, I charge $159 an hour to pay the staff $20. That's pretty much highway robbery. Let's be realistic here. When I book a gig and send someone else out, I'm acting as an agent. Um, if they're going to be using my resources, my materials, my this, my that, well, then I'll take a higher cut. But if I'm sending them out and they're providing everything, I'm just a booking agent, then I'll go with a standard agency fee, which is somewhere between 15 to 20%. That's how most talent agents work. So when I book a balloon party, I charge 159. I pay my staff 125. And when he was talking to this person who was doing the exact same thing for $20 an hour, and he was like, I do this for 125 an hour. Can you imagine how that person who gets paid $20 an hour must have felt, especially knowing how much their company charges for it? It's it's horrible. It's absolutely horrible. They are not paying their people what they're worth. They're not giving their staff incentive to want to do a good job, to want to better themselves. Um, I recently lost um, my first tier balloon twister. I'm the primary, but I lost my recently my first tier balloon twister because she just graduated college. and was offered a job in her field. Congratulations to her, by the way. We're very happy for her. But her job is several hours away, so she had to move. Um, so she can't do gigs for me anymore. But she gave me a year's notice. Uh, that's the loyalty of the staff because I paid her well. I've always treated her with nothing but respect. And likewise, she did the same with me. She treated me with respect. She respected me enough to know that I would be in the gym. Eventually, with her being gone, I would need someone to replace her. So she gave me a year's notice, and I found someone, and I've trained someone for that year. Um, and that someone got to be pretty good. They're not quite up to the level of myself or this other twister yet, but this is a skill that takes years to master. But this new person is very good, and she's enthusiastic, and she's eager to learn and develop her skills further because she feels valued with them. The people who develop skills that are paid a pittance compared to what the industry is actually worth will get fed up, take those skills, and walk away and go see your competitors who pay better. It's a fact. I know a colleague in this industry who does a different kind of service altogether, but he used to work for a company where they paid him a pittance and they expected him to um, provide his own materials, develop his own routine. Essentially, they expected him to create everything, but they paid him 30 bucks an hour for something where the industry would pay 150 bucks an hour for. So after doing it for a little while, he got fed up. He quit and he just started his own company doing that, where he pays himself the full amount. Had they paid him well, he would have stayed with them, but they lost staff and he gained competitors because they did not respect his value. I think Sir Richard Branson said something about that. I can't remember exactly what the quote was, but it says, "Value your employees, and they'll be faithful to you." Um, I think it's something like, train them so they're good enough to walk away, but treat them well so they want to stay, kind of thing. Um, if you don't treat your people right, you are not working at that vibration where people want to be with you. It becomes a tedious environment. It becomes a stressful environment. It becomes an environment where people don't want to be. Let's look at Walmart. The Walton family was a hugely rich family. Not that they built a shopping empire, and there's nothing wrong with them making money, but the pay their staff gets and the so very little benefits they get and the way they're treated, this company can afford to pay the people better. I mean, this company makes billions a year. You know, how much money do you need? Well, this good, don't get me wrong, there's more, but there comes a point where there's no possible way you could ever spend what you have in a lifetime. You know, what does it matter? Treat your people better. They will want to be there. Do you actually look at employees at Walmart? Do they actually look like they want to be there? They often feel like they're stuck. Like this is the all that was available for them. And I always feel kind of like bad. It's not right. Treat your people well. They will treat you well, and your company will grow. My philosophy of treating, um, they're all subcontractors, so um, but treating them like the talent they are has attracted some of the best talent in town. Um, you know, my face painters are absolutely amazing, and there are sometimes gigs where I have to use extra outside face painters. A lot of them are their own little independent contractors, but I've never had when I've had to go beyond my first tier, which is predominantly exclusive staff. When I've had to expand and bring in other local artists in the community. Um, I've never been turned down unless they were already booked somewhere, uh, you know, because they know I pay them well. Uh, they're always happy to work for my company, and we all have a great working relationship. I know other companies who um, get turned down because people don't feel like doing the contract. I've never had somebody turn me down because they didn't feel like it, which is polite for I don't want to work for you. Um, Let me give you another example. This happened several years ago. I was contacted by this agency. I will not name names, but this is, um, they're not even local, but they're listed in the phone book, and they cover a big chunk of Eastern Ontario as an agency. Okay. They called me, and it was for an event at a high school, those end of year festivals they have sometimes. And they wanted a strolling magician for the event. So I give them my rate. And the guys on the phone said, they don't have that kind of budget. Would you do it for any quotes? Any half of what I would charge? And I said, no, that's like a 50% drop. He said, yeah, but look, he says, it's a Tuesday afternoon. Um, do you have anything else happening right now? I mean, it's easy money. And the guy was kind of, trying to charm me into it and talk me into being like, you're not doing anything anyways, you might as well. So grudgingly, I accepted. So I took half my rate. So I get to the school and I report to the administrative office, and the lady says, "Oh, all right. Is the other magician here too?" And I said, "Oh, I don't know anything about any other magician. They didn't tell me." And she goes, "Hang on," and she pulls up the contract and she actually looks at it. She sits up next to me so we can both look at it. So I didn't pry, I didn't ask to see this. The information was presented right in front of me. Turns out I'm the only magician hired. However, when shown the contract, I see the rate they charge the school. They charge the school 65% higher than my original asking full fee. Don't tell me they couldn't hire it. This is an agency that's supposed to make somewhere between 15 to 20%. But they charge 50% above my full fee, but they only pay me half that fee. So if you do, I'm not sure what the exact math comes out to be, but this basically, they charge over three times, or they over three times what they were paying me. And this is just absolutely insane. Now, being a professional, I'd already committed to it and I'd agreed to the price, so I did the gig anyways for that rate. But the moment I was paid, I told them clearly and unequivocally, do not ever call me again to manipulate people like that, not pay them their worth, giving sob stories and lying about what the client is actually paying, just so you can make a bigger profit. Sure, short term, you made a little bundle, but long term, um, it doesn't pay. Because I called everybody I knew in the industry, in the area, people I trust, people who sometimes I have worked for other agencies and they pay me what I'm worth, especially one in particular, which I will gladly name Orbital Talent, who has always respected people's fees and treated um, people like artists and paid them what they're worth. Um, call them and call a few others and let them know what had happened. Um, and this original agency who had swindled me like that, we don't really hear much from them in this Ottawa area anymore. Um, Mainly because we all got wise to it. And when I told the story, a few other people told me their versions of how they were swindled by this company. Swindlers don't last long. People who treat their employees with disrespect don't last long in general. If they do, it's because they have such a powerful foothold. For example, Walmart. But still, value your staff. You don't think of Walmart and value. You think of Walmart and inexpensive, but you don't think of quality value. Treat your staff well. People will think highly of your company because your staff will be beaming about it. And that's just an important life lesson. Anyways, I've ranted enough about this. Let's talk about today's gratitudes. I'm grateful for another beautiful day. For the last couple of days, it's been extremely hot and humid, but we had some rain yesterday, and I think the humidity broke. Yay! I am grateful for today's opportunities, whatever they may be. I'm grateful that over the weekend I've managed to book a few extra gigs, which means things are slowly coming back to normal. We'll see you tomorrow.